Hey everyone, and welcome to Season 10 of the Choose UCalgary Podcast. I'm Ritul, your host this season, a third-year student in the Haskell School of Business, and a new co-op student with the undergraduate recruitment team. If you're thinking about joining UCalgary, you're in the right place. Each episode will dive into student life at UCalgary, chat with current students, and explore everything from faculties to campus resources. It's all about giving you a real feel for the UCalgary experience. Let's get started. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the peoples of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, and acknowledge that the city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. As someone who moved to Calgary from abroad, I've developed a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to live, study, and connect with new friends and colleagues on the lands of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda Nations. It's important to remember that everything we do here at the University of Calgary, including podcast recordings, starts with these lands. Please keep this in mind as you listen to this podcast. Joining me today is Emily, a current grad student at UCalgary pursuing a master's in Biomedical Engineering. Emily completed her bachelor's in Biomechanics with honors here just this June and had many incredible experiences during her undergrad. Today we'll hear a bit more about her experiences, everything from classes and student life to her internship with Adidas in Germany. Welcome to the podcast, Emily.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. How have you been?
I'm great, yeah. I'm really happy that I decided to take my master's at U of C again. And so far, the professors I'm surrounded with and the research, it just all makes it, super fulfilling. So it's been really good, yeah.
That is so cool. Now, as a business student, I understand very little of biomedical stuff,
Yeah.
whether it be the engineering or mechanics. Now, since we're talking more so to high school students, we would be focusing more on your undergrad degree. So could you tell us a bit more about the route you took for your undergrad?
Yeah. When I was in high school, I had no clue what I wanted to do. And so I knew I wanted to go to university. So I think I applied for kinesiology. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with that yet. I just heard that people were really happy in this program. And that is the case. I think it's a really fun major, and it can be pretty fulfilling what you can do with it. But I did that for the first year and a half. And it was all kind of during COVID too, so I wasn't in classes at the time. But I liked what I was learning. I just still didn't know what I wanted to do. And eventually I kind of realized okay, I didn't really want to take the typical routes like physio, or a lot of people go to med school, chiro, those kind of things. And so I switched into this other discipline within the faculty of kinesiology, which is biomechanics. You kind of take a mix of the same sports science classes you take in kinesiology, but a lot of your option courses turn into mechanical engineering courses. So I was taking a mix of mechanical engineering and sports science classes. And I really liked that because I'd always been interested in engineering, but I was never really ready to fully commit to that. And so it was nice because this gave me more avenues for working in industry potentially. And so, yeah, I switched into biomechanics, did my honors degree in that, and that's all completed now, and I'm in my master's for biomedical engineering.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Education.
Yeah.
What was your first year like?
Again, first year was a bit strange because it was fully online.
Oh, yeah.
So honestly, a bit of a blur, online classes, and luckily that's not the case anymore. I think things opened up again about a year and a half into my degree, and that's when I started to meet people and I could actually see the faces and the professors that were teaching me. And then things got a lot more exciting and fun because then we were in person. I got to do labs in person. I think one of the first classes I had in person was Kines 373, might be 323, and we're working with really samples and analyzing them, and working with EMGs, measuring electrical impulses in the body. And so we just had really cool in-person experiences.
Okay, so you were into programs and then you graduated with biomechanics. What were some of your favorite things about your program?
I think one thing that I really appreciated about just being in the faculty of kinesiology in general were the professors. professors are fantastic, and they're also just super empathetic. Like they're super understanding if like maybe you're sick or like you have some like external life situations, and like their classes are very well structured. So I think just like the professors in general, I really like in the faculty of kinesiology. Like during my undergrad, I was lucky enough to like work in some of the labs of these professors, not only in kinesiology, but also like biomedical engineering. I worked in some labs as a research intern. And so there's opportunities here and there to like, okay, if you're interested in a subject, you can go learn some more about it and like possibly do a practicum or do a research internship, and you can help decide like what do you really want to do. And so that's something that like really helped me during my undergrad that I really appreciated.
That makes sense. Yeah, UCalgary does have a lot of really cool undergrad research programs that you don't necessarily see in a lot of schools, like the focus on undergraduate research. Could you like speak a bit more to your experience with doing research with UCalgary, and is there any specific project that you really enjoyed and that kind of you still hold on to this day somehow?
So like in terms of research, I think
we'll get into your cool work integrated learning later.
Okay, yeah. In terms of research, I'd say like the summer research programs that they have at UOC are really what helped me figure out what I wanted to do and like even started my career and like building my resume. So I would have been in my second year of my undergrad. I really liked like programming and coding. It was kind of like a side thing I did. I took like an intro to Python course and I loved it, even though it wasn't my major. And I just wanted to find any opportunity to like try and practice that. But I was also interested in just like working in research and seeing what it's like. So a friend of mine recommended that there's this program, I think it's called Pure in general.
Awards, yeah.
I didn't get a Pure award, but it's like similar structure. I got some government grant to work for summer in a lab, and I was working in the Biomedical Engineering department in this really cool lab called the Healthy City Lab. My supervisor's name was Saya Baya, and she's awesome. And so she was willing to take me in a second year biomechanics, so not even in the faculty of biomedical engineering, but she was still willing to take me on because there's like transferable skills. And I think she just knew that I was curious, and that's like what's important at the end of the day. And so I spent that summer learning about how to program better scripts, working with machine learning, something I'd never done before, but she was an incredible mentor who like helped teach me. And so I got to learn about machine learning. I got to apply machine learning skills to really cool data sets, such as like wearable technology. So like Garmin data or like Apple Watch data and such. So that was just like a really fun summer experience. And then this summer after, I really enjoyed that experience, but I'm still an undergrad and I'm trying to figure out what else there is out there and just really know what I want to do. So I reached out to another professor who I heard was doing some really cool work in like musculoskeletal health, and her name was Dr. Lee Gable. She's based out of kinesiology. So I worked in the kinesiology building as a research intern for her after my third year. And that summer was really cool because I got to apply the same machine learning skills that I had learned in a previous course, but to a different type of health problem, which was, can we predict whether or not an astronaut is going to be able to recover their bone health post spaceflight after being on the International Space Station. So like she had access to this really cool data set with like working with like space agencies essentially, that allowed me to have this really fun summer project and present my research at conferences and meet some really cool researchers in that field. So none of those would have been possible if we didn't have the summer research programs here at University of Calgary. And so I'm like super grateful for that, and that these professors are willing to take me in. Yeah, and like I have friends at other universities and they don't have programs like this. Like it's undergrads working in labs also often, they don't get to create their own independent research project, which is really impressive on your resume. If like at other universities, if they're lucky, maybe they're just doing like kind of more intern work, like cleaning up or maintaining files and such. So that's why I think this program at the University of Calgary is like super special.
But yeah, that is very cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, you've had some like really cool work integrated learning experiences. You worked in Germany and in Denver. Could you speak a bit more to those experiences?
Yeah, there isn't an official internship program in my faculty, but the University of Calgary is pretty well recognized for like the quality of research that goes on here. So when you go to certain institutes or certain organizations or companies and you apply, they might actually just recognize your like University of Calgary in general. So I think this is something that really helped me get some of the internships that I did. And this was true when I went to Adidas in Germany. I think a big reason why like I got an interview when I applied online, because I didn't really have connections when I went into it. I just applied online, they called me back, and then but they recognized my school. They recognized the research labs that I had worked in previously, mainly focusing on my previous experiences in sport and athletic apparel. And those are experiences I got doing practicums within the Faculty of Kinesiology. So that is like our official work integrated program that we have there. Maybe I'll start off with that because like that kind of can't just skip over the practicums without without going straight to the internships. But during my undergrad, you can take up to 3 practicums in the Faculty of Kinesiology. And that's where essentially instead of taking a course, you can work for a company for 60 to 70 hours during a semester. You don't get paid or anything, but it's really good experience and you get to actually get real work experience. And so I did 2 during my undergrad. The first one I did was with the Canadian Sport Institute's sport product testing team. And they're based out of like WinSport here in Calgary. And they do some really cool work where they like essentially validate the performance of sport products. So that could be like footwear or leggings, or at the time I was there, they were working with like smartwatch company Polar. And so I was a practicum student there and I got to see behind the scenes of how it really works in industry. And I really enjoyed that. So I then applied for a very similar second practicum with a company called Sport Insight. And this is a research lab that's based here out of the University of Calgary and is currently where I'm doing my master's today. And they do essentially similar work too, to the Canadian Sport Institute. And so I had these 2 practicum experiences in my pocket when I applied to Adidas. Eventually got the position at Adidas, and then next thing you know, I was in Germany for 6 months. I had to take a bit of a leave from school to do it, but it all worked out in the end. And yeah, I was working in the sports innovation lab there at their headquarters. It's like kind of just outside of Nuremberg where I was living, but I was living in the city of Nuremberg. Yeah, and overall, definitely crazy experience. It's a big company for sure, and their campus is just like a university campus, like here. But I learned a lot for sure. And if it weren't for having the practicum experiences and even the research experiences that I did here at University of Calgary, like I definitely wouldn't have had the opportunity to go there. So yeah.
That's so cool. I have like 3 follow-up questions about this specifically.
Yeah.
The number 1 is what is your favorite Adidas shoe? The second one is how was Germany in general? And the third one is how was like the work that you did? Like what were like some key takeaways from the work that you did there?
Okay. You'll have to repeat the second and third one to me, because right when you mentioned the shoe one, I was like, oh, which shoe?
That's so fair.
So when I was there, I was working on the outdoor team, and this involves like kind of mountainous sports, so like hiking and trail running. Like having grown up near Calgary, I think that like really resonated with me because I just grew up going to the mountains and hiking and like mountain biking and such. So that's why I think I was placed on that team. The shoe that I like the most, like my personal favorite, is the Terex Agravic Trail Runners. They're just like, I'm fascinated by trail runners in general. Are you familiar with trail running?
I gotta look this one up.
Okay, it's essentially, imagine running a marathon, but you're doing it on a hiking trail.
Adidas trail runner. But yeah, keep going. I'll find it.
Yeah, like I wear that shoe quite a bit when I go running, and I think it's just, I saw like some of the science that was going into it. When I was there, I got to meet some of the professional sponsored athletes, trail running athletes, and just like seeing the work that they put in, the athletes themselves. Like I think it's really cool getting to see like the science that goes into building a shoe. And so, yeah, that would be my answer to that one. And then, what was your second question?
The second question was, how was Germany in general, or like
In
living in
general.
Germany as a student? How
Yeah.
was that?
I mean, like, it was a change because I essentially grew up like in Calgary, and I hadn't left Calgary up until that point. So I was 21 leaving Calgary for the first time. And like I don't speak German. Like I have a German last name, but it's like I don't know much
Has
about.
it changed in like you doing your internship there? Did you pick up on a bit of German?
I like tried my best and was grinding Duolingo for months leading up to it, but I've learned that that won't actually do much for you. The thing about Adidas is the company operates in English, and so I never had to speak in German. English was the only requirement. And then I was at the office all day, so I was only really speaking English. And then like there's a lot of other interns there from like around the world, like 75 of us, and everyone had to speak English. So I'm speaking English to the other interns. But like Germany was incredible. It's really eye-opening to live somewhere else and not just go on like vacation, right? But like actually live there for a few months and kind of like integrate into a different society and culture that you're not used to. And so like I highly recommend to people, like if you can, while you're an undergrad, look for opportunities to move somewhere, as scary as it may seem. It's so worth it, and you're gonna come out of that experience like so proud of yourself, and having gained a bunch of skills that you otherwise probably wouldn't have found staying at home. So yeah, it was great.
Sounds great. And that kind of like almost addresses my third question, which was like, what were some key learnings in this specific experience? I think you spoke a bit more to like what it was like living in a different place, but the company itself and working there, and this was also your first time like working outside of the university, I'm guessing, was it? Or was Denver before this?
No, Denver was last summer, so DS was the summer before that. Yeah, like it was my first time working in a position that was really disconnected from like the university itself. Yeah.
So what are some key learnings that came with that like extra expectation of like professionalism?
Yeah. It was really useful in that obviously like I get to experience what it's like working for a very big company and an industry, so outside of like academia, because I think going into this I was definitely considering going down like the academic route, but having this opportunity to work at a very big company definitely opened my eyes to like, you know, like the realities of what's different between academia and industry. And that's like a really big benefit to working internships, of course, is like you don't know until you're actually there. And so yeah, it exposed me to some of the realities of working in industry, like good and bad. So it's like helped better prepare me for what I want to do with my career going forward. It's also like having that opportunity helped me kind of open my eyes to opportunities outside of Calgary. Like I know I can do it. I lived in Germany for 6 months. I'd be open to living elsewhere in the world, you know? So it just gave me that confidence. And I think it also really helped, like I learned a lot about just like different cultures and how to interact with different people who maybe just aren't just from Canada mainly, or like I can work with, you know, how do you adjust to like working with people of different work styles and, just different understandings of how you should go about tackling projects and such, because I was meeting like 10 different people a day. Like it was a lot, and all different age groups, all different backgrounds, all different countries. So yeah, those are some of my big takeaways from living in Germany. Yeah.
Those are some cool takeaways too. Yeah. Sounds like an enjoyable experience, and I'm sure you learned a lot as well.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about academics and work. I want to know how your experience was at uni, like outside of that. How was your undergrad student life like? What are some favorite memories you have from your undergrad?
Yeah. I was really lucky to make like some awesome friends during my degree in kinesiology, and I think kinesiology is like like I'm a little biased because obviously that's what I study, but there's some really great people in kines, and so it was pretty easy to make some really good friends. Also, like during my undergrad, my friend and we founded an undergraduate club, and the whole premise, it's called the Free Kicks Project. Shout out, please join. It's a great club. Still going to this day. And it's also cool that like we have the resources at U of C to start our own clubs. And essentially what we did, which was like my really fun side project in undergrad, was we founded an undergraduate club to help promote physical activity and like physical literacy in youth. So, but mainly targeting youth that otherwise wouldn't have the means to have access to after school recreation programming. So yeah, that was like really fun starting that club, creating our exec team, actually initiating the club and running the events. But then I also got involved with some other clubs on campus too. Like I went to some of the ski club events, super fun. Went to Lake Louise on a ski trip. We didn't actually ski because it was like -40 and the pipes burst at Lake Louise, but nonetheless, still a really fun weekend in Banff. And then I think just like I have a lot of really fun memories of being in random labs throughout my kinesiology degree, and just like, you know, I guess laughing around with my friends. And like one particular memory is in Kines 323. I think it's like advanced exercise physiology. They're putting you through some rigorous tests. So there's something called a Wingate test where you pretty much you get on a cycling ergometer and you are pushing yourself to the limit. And I almost passed out on this bike. But you know, it's like memories like that where it's like it's so fun. Like you're getting to learn, but you're also like surrounded by this like awesome community while you're in these labs. Yeah. So I answer that one.
I suppose if you really enjoy what you're doing, then even classes can hold really strong memories.
Yeah.
And you seem to enjoy what you did. So much so that you're like doing a master's now.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Very random question. What's your favorite building on campus? Because like kinesiology is a very popular region, even for students who are not there. Do you like have any sort of... I feel quite connected to like Scarfield and Matheson. Do you feel connected to the kinesiology space?
I definitely like the kinesiology building definitely feels like my home. So yeah, like I mean I'm biased. Like the gym is there. They have like it's a Good Earth now. That they have.
There is a Good Earth now, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Good Earth in there. I like that spot. But also like unpopular opinion, I really like Mac Hall. Like it's really...
That's so popular.
Are you sure?
That was too popular. I guess, okay, it's not a favorite spot that people claim, but it's definitely a popular spot.
I feel like a lot of people find it overwhelming because there's just like a ton of people there. Because I mean that's where all the food is. But like there's also like some really awesome spaces on like the 3rd and 4th floor. Like there's the Women's Resource Center, which is like awesome place to just like chill when you're like you need a moment. That's what my friends and I would do sometimes. It's just like, hey guys, let's go to the Women's Center, and then they have free tea and like awesome stuff, and you can just relax.
It's so funny you mentioned that. We like just did a WRC feature because I have a couple friends who volunteered there, and then we got them to do a little video. It was so fun. And it's such a cool space.
It's a really good space. Yeah.
And there's a little dog there sometimes. I don't know if your friends got that. They're so cute, the little dog.
Yeah. No, I've definitely seen that puppy a few times. I haven't been since undergrad, but yeah, fantastic space. And I think I really like high energy places, so I think that's why I just like Mac Hall.
Well, that's the thing. I feel very adequately whelmed when I'm at Mac Hall. I enjoy like looking at people and seeing the busyness.
No, I like people watching. It's kind of fun, you know. So yeah, Mac Hall, I think. If I can't choose place.
I see why it's like unpopular. Like people go there, but people maybe find it too busy sometimes. But I really enjoy the busyness.
Yeah.
What's your favorite like resource, or like what's a resource that you got a lot of use out of from your faculty or from the university at large, outside of the research and other things that we talked about?
I'll have to think about that one. So not the practicums, not the research stuff, like something else.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about them again, but like, if there's like other resources that you maybe felt like helped you quite a bit while you were studying.
Yeah, like there's definitely the Women's Resource Center, I think. Like my friends and I, we spent a lot of time just decompressing there, and relaxing. Having the gym is also really great, and like there's open gym sometimes here at U of C, and like other programs like intramural sports. So I did a lot of volleyball on the side throughout my undergraduate degree, and like, you know, that's just like really good to have, like knowing like, hey, I'm gonna play this awesome fun game of volleyball on Thursday and like think about something that isn't my exams. So we have a lot of like fitness programs too at UC, which are great. Yeah, and like we have a swimming pool here you can use too. We have squash courts. I think like just having like the fitness facilities and knowing like, hey, I'm a bit stressed. Who wants to go play squash? Like, just having that ability is like super, super nice to have. So
I find it really interesting whenever I pose that question, like the different avenues of resources people come up with. Because I think some people have like a bit of a focus on student life and community, and they talk about their clubs or like other things that made them like make friends and stuff. You were talking about more athletic things like I don't know athletic stuff, but like the gym and like intramural sports and stuff. Sometimes people highlight mental health resources. So I find it cool that like different people have different takeaways from the university and what resources they kind of end up using more or what sticks with them more. So that's pretty cool. You seem like quite the athlete. Would you like consider yourself that?
So like it's funny because I've did my career's kind of been directed towards like working in like sports.
Even the shoe you mentioned, I looked it up. That looks like something athletes would wear.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's built for athletes. But I never played high level sports growing up. Like I was very fortunate that I had the privilege of being able to try out different sports. Like I did taekwondo, I did mountain biking, hiking. I played competitive soccer for about 5 or 6 years. Like skiing. Anyways, like I was very lucky that I got to try out a bunch of stuff, but I was never like a high level. I was always mid-tier, honestly. But at the end of the day, like I took a lot out of playing sports, and like it was like a community thing. You gain a lot of confidence from it. So I wouldn't say like you need to have been a dyno athlete or a national level like football player to like really appreciate sports. Like I have a huge appreciation for sports, and that just stems from, you know, having the experiences I did and like being lucky to participate in them growing up. And so to this day, it's like for me, it's like a really important like it's really important for me to like go on runs or go trail running, go mountain biking when I can. And I've learned like that really helps, you know, just boost my satisfaction overall in life. And so, everyone's like an athlete to their to their own degree, you know.
I'm a sitting down athlete.
I'm
so good at it, love doing it. But that is very cool. Also, those are very high level, to me at least, as someone who loves sitting down and not doing much otherwise. So pretty cool. I was my high school. My high school had like two soccer teams. They had a team A which would compete more, and then a team B.
Okay.
So you could already see what a team B suggests. I
Yeah.
was a bench warmer for team B.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but you were there.
yeah, that's what matters. Community
Yeah, no,
in
exactly.
sports. Love to hear that. So for students who are coming in, what are some resources that you would highlight?
I would say, like, if like the biggest one for me would be if you're just starting, uh the biggest learning is going to be, like, obviously you're going to get a lot from your classes, but you're going to get also like a lot from seeing real problems being tackled in real life, and a lot of where that takes place is in research labs at U of C. And so just talking to your professor, but also knowing that we have these summer, or you can even, like, I think some labs might even on their own accord take you in during like the school year, even as a volunteer. But just working in labs, knowing that we have this summer student program where they encourage undergraduates to work in a lab for a summer. Like, knowing that that's available, like, I think that's something that I would highly recommend. And like keep that in the back of your mind when you start your undergrad, because it's completely changed like the directory of my life, like having the first internship I did. And again, I had no clue what I was doing, and you don't need to know fully what you want to do when you apply for a lab, but just like going for it, trying it, testing it out, knowing that you can do that. Yeah, that would be the biggest resource I would share, like, is this summer work integrate, or the summer pure research program for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's so cool. And the like fun thing about that is students as early as like when they're done with their first year could go into it. Because I see so many of my little baby friends who just finished first year going into it, and it is so cool to see that. And that is not something I've heard of from many places that kind of have this like almost empowering initiative for younger students as well. But yeah, there's that resource. Outside of resources, what's your general advice to our future students of like how to make the most of their undergrad degree now that you're done with it and you have a certificate to show for it?
I think I was kind of touching on it before, but like, just don't stay stagnant. Don't just go to your classes. Obviously, like, classes are a bare minimum, but there's so much more available here. Like, join clubs, talk to people around you, start a club,
Start something.
Just start something. Yeah. Like, talk to your professors, like, you don't need to know. I did not know what I wanted to do until probably like a year ago. So like, I was in the 5th year. I took 5 years to do my undergrad.
I'm gonna take 5 as well.
Yeah. And like, no problem with that. Like, when you're a student, you have this opportunity to explore, right? And that's like what it should be. So like, just keep moving, keep showing up for random opportunities that catch your eye. If something catches your eye, like, go for it. Try and get involved. Like, just don't only go to your classes. Because you're going to find that at the end of your degree, you're going to remember not your classes, but kind of the additional stuff you maybe did outside of it that was like really meaningful for you. That's my opinion. Yeah, that'd be my advice.
Okay, if you could describe your undergrad experience in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
I would say definitely explorative. Like, I was working in labs of different, like, practicums of like way different disciplines, all concerning like health, but I really had the opportunity to explore during undergrad. Second, I would say like persistence. You are taking classes and it is work, but it's all for a reason, and you'll learn a lot from putting that hard work into your classes. So I definitely had my late nights, and I'll remember that going forward. But it's part of the process, you know. But then 3, like growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've learned a lot about myself throughout all these experiences. Made a ton of friends throughout undergrad, and the friends I made for sure are like probably like my favorite thing coming out of undergrad for sure. Like I've definitely made some friends that like I'll keep for the rest of my life through this university, and like grown myself as a person, but also like with them and having like kind of bond. But yeah, I also kind of figured out, you know, where do I kind of want to take my career path? Where do I want to go in the future? So, yeah, that'd be my answer to that one. Kind of general, but yeah.
I think that's a very good answer, and it has to be a bit general. I mean, it's 3 words.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've taken quite a bit of your time. I believe that brings us to the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing
okay.
all your insights. I think you like had such cool experiences, and even as a fellow student, I think it's so cool for me to hear about all that you did, and very inspiring as well. So I'm sure
thanks.
it was inspiring for our future students.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for giving me your evening. So cool to like know a grad student now.
Yeah.
If I see you around campus, I'll probably wave.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope you wave back.
No, I'll be back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and the rest of your master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you around.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Season 10 of the Choose UCalgary podcast. Remember to follow us on Instagram at choose.ucalgary and Facebook at UCalgaryFS to stay up to date on all things UCalgary for future students. DM if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next episode. A huge shout out to Schulich Soundstage, a student-led music club right here on campus, for producing the amazing music you've heard throughout this episode. It's just one example of the incredible creativity and talent you'll find at UCalgary.